Добрый день, уважаемые гости.
Good day, distinguished guests. Welcome to our plenary session. Good day, dear guests. Welcome to Astana Finance Days. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Our panel session would be interesting for everyone. I hope the topic is how AI reinvents creativity. So we conduct it within Astana Finance Days. Before I start, let me express my gratitude to our partners, Freedom Brokers, Kaz Minerals, ITS, for their support and for their contribution to the development of our forum. Today we see AI moves out or beyond its borders. Now AI becomes co-creator, shaping music, film, design, media. Our goal is to discuss how AI transforms the creative process, unlocking new monetization models and positioning Kazakhstan as a hub for creative experts. We will also discuss opportunities, risks, and policies needed to ensure that this technological wave enhances but not replaces human originality. Let me briefly introduce our speakers today. Today with us we have Aizatulla Hussein, who is a creative producer, IT entrepreneur, and founder of the Õzen media company. Aizatulla is actively using AI in media. We also have Dulat Mukhametkali, known as HighOne. He is a lead vocalist of 91 group band.
В сфере Q-pop, в сольной своей музыки.
He's a pioneer and he's a creative producer at ArtJaq, musician, songwriter. I'm also glad to present you Numi Musalieva, who is a founder and CEO of Sazalem and Gen Vive. She is the founder of Microdrama and Cube. She has several projects, Horika, virtual microdrama that is popular now, generative fairy tales in Kazakh language, and lots of other projects. So let us greet her. And when we were preparing for this session with speakers, we had lots of ideas how to build our discussion. But as we have a very short time, let us talk about the most important questions. Aizatulla, the question is for you. What opportunities do you see for AI to transform the media and creative industries over the next 5-10 years? Good day, good evening, welcome. Thank you for coming. I didn't expect so many people here, but well, speaking about AI, you asked this question, but over the last 2 years, we are testing generative AI. What is generative AI? This is the creation of video, music, content based on different popular services. Now, we can create music and no one would, differ it from a music written by human. Now the cartoons are being made with the use of AI. Speaking about the development of all of this, development of AI in Kazakhstan, I want to say that there are lots of enthusiasts, and generative artificial intelligence is the opportunity for Kazakhstan. Well, coming back to the past, about 100 years ago, when we are speaking about music, we mean Hollywood, major labels, and they have already been doing all this creative industry for more than 100 years. But we, as an independent country, we just now started to catch up what we missed before. But now it's a new era, it's AI era, and this also relates to the media industry. And now for us, for our country, it is important not to catch up, but our task is to start together with other players to move to these directions. Well, first of all, I consider that in Kazakhstan we have a very high creative potential. We can see it in music, in our films. We see how much music we create, and I think that there are very few countries that could compete with us with regard to music that we create. Now we see young people are coming more to this sphere. You might see TikTok, Instagram, and you see there are millions of views for videos created by AI. But the question is about financing. Will our funds or our investors react quickly and support this new generation that use AI? Or maybe they will come in 5 years when, it will be already late because Hollywood would already make AI film and or maybe even this film would win Grammy Award. And then our people would say, oh, yes, let's use AI. But it would be too late. This 100 years of Hollywood existence, of this, yeah, everything happens really fast now. We are being creative people, and now we understand that we need to close this gap between financial tools and creative youth. That's why we are trying to open a fund. We support creative young people. We train them. Well, basically, this is like this. Thank you. Distinguished guests, I would like to share one interesting idea. Last year, during AFD, we had also sessions on creative industry. We were speaking about funds and so on. And then in January in AIFC, we opened this department, financing of creative projects. We have here the head of this sector. We also have one of the representatives of the first funds who registered their fund in creative, and they have the second project about AI, and you are saying that you want to register. And it's very good because now we see that our creative industries has already showed itself, because we already have Grammy Award in Kazakhstan, right? What do you think? As a regulator, we create this platform, we will make these rules, how to create these funds, how to attract money, but how the creative young people who wants to come to this sector, how they can attract investments through this AI content? Or, what would be the way? Or could you please tell about your AI use? Speaking about our path, again, speaking about generative AI, over the last 2 years, it's becoming more and more popular. We see that trends are changed really fast. Yesterday, for example, one of Google service was cool. Then 2 weeks later, it could be the other service. For example, you might know Hipsters. Or then Google came back again, and they did update. And now at this stage, we are dealing with testing our hypothesis. We work with several Kazakhstani advertisers. We do testing of projects for them. Speaking about young people, how to attract investments, I think, well, in creativity, this would work differently. Here, we need to show results, and we need to show successful projects. That's why maybe in social media, they shall show their works, their portfolio, they shall show what they can. Now we see there are few professionals in the world, those who are able, with the use of AI, create video or music works. If you're just an enthusiast, you can create something, you can upload it, and it would be spread really fast if it's interesting, and you might be, hired or hunted, because Hixel in Kazakhstan hunted everyone and no one is here. Actually, yes, there is a shortage of staff. So speaking about Hixel, you've mentioned it. This is our startup that now developed into a big company, and I read the news that they refused the investments from Meta because they think that they are worth more than that. payment that Meta suggested them. You know, Hixelt is one of the advanced startups, one of the hype startups in the world, not only in Kazakhstan. We have to support, to support it. But what is the success of Hixelt? We have cool engineers that would understand machine learning or some other areas. And for these 3 years, I have had these ideas. And, you know, in our country, we have enough creativity, but we don't have the uniting of IT sector and creative sector. And Hixelt is that merged when cool IT specialists joined cool creator specialists, and now it's a very good startup. And maybe at AIFC it is very important to unite these two, let's say, layers of population so that IT would meet creation and then creativity, and then we will have very good projects. Thank you. Thank you for your reply. Now let me move to our next speaker, Dulat. You know, the service of music generation is really popular. Do you remember before, when it was a celebration or some birthday party, we would order to the specific service on changing a song based on this event? Now you can use these AI services. It's available and nobody surprises with it. So now, Dulat, the floor is given to you. My question is the following one. You're one of the pioneers of Kazakhstani music. How do you see AI changing the process of music creation and artist identity? And maybe speak something about copyright, please.
Thank you. Well, I myself totally agree with previous speaker, because right before that, you know that this wave had started from the Korea and Asia, and we understand that this wave came to its climax, and we tried to keep up with it. But at the same time, there were troubles with it, because this is one of the trends to work with AI. And of course, in a near future, I think that all of us, not all of us, the majority actually, will become spiritual cyborgs, to be really honest. And we, through using different platforms, we will compose music and write songs, and you won't lose your style, but at the same time, it will become the tool that you will utilize. So I think that those who work with artificial intelligence, they can they can actually implement a huge volume. They can work with scales and work with many things, and you don't even need to move. And you could actually make a lot of things with AI. And I myself, personally, I have written an album last year, and in this album I have used AI, and I used the vocalist. I didn't even need the vocalist, and I just used this audio. And my listeners actually started mixing up. They thought it's one of the famous singers. Some people thought it's Shaban Shiksen, for example. But it was in artificial intelligence, and I used it as a tool. When we talk about copyrights, I think if you use it as a spiritual cyborg, then there shall not be any kind of clash points or any kind of conflict of interest in the copyrights, because you use the structure of the music, you compose, you create. It is just a tool to write. If something is done ultimately only with AI, then yes, there's an issue of copyright. And I think that There will be contents that will be created only with AI. There will be cyborgs and there will be robots. So this is something that we will come to. I would like to add that Zach is actually quite modest, and it's one of the first people in the world who, from amongst popular artists, who started using AI in its creativity. And the song that I love, actually, it's one of the popular songs, I think, in the album. Well, I have another question, Zach, to you. Regarding the AI, do you think AI is the co-author then? And what about company that had created this AI? Do you need to share your royalty and payment with this company? Well, in my opinion, like Kanye West's opinion, I think that AI is like an auto-tune. Here, we don't. This had been already created. AI hadn't created it itself. I have used it as a tool. I have created it. It is just saved some time. Within 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I had to search music, for example, but via AI, I had done it within 2 seconds. I would come to it anyways, eventually, but AI allowed me to do it within seconds. If I was composing one song within 10 days, nowadays I can write 10 songs within 1 day. Well, nowadays we are discussing a lot of things regarding the song creation, not only in music, in any actually sector. How is it used? And most of the responses are regarding efficiency. Another question, well, I am listening to you and our youngsters. They use AI and they can issue their own masterpieces and expose whole world to it. Well, regarding the trends, for example, we couldn't catch up with one of the trends before. Now we can actually be in the trend because there are no boundaries nowadays. We have an internet. Everyone can see anything. So nowadays artists don't compete with each other on a local level. They compete with whole world because people can see from all over the world your creativity. So you have a chance to implement, to realize your potential, to be famous. Well, this is the trend that had also already been as a, cutting through. Because the economy is actually not really big one. We can just make one leap, and it's easier for us to be more open for innovations. And if thanks to through this kind of panel sessions and this kind of sessions, if we could not only catch up but even be ahead of all of it, it's quite possible. Thank you so much, Zach. I would like to ask Numi. Numi, your company is actually covering music, microdramas, and storytelling. Which of these directions has the greatest potential for growth? Hello, everyone. I'm very happy to be here. Thank you so much for coming and inviting me. Yes, we deal with music, microdrama, which is the cinematography. The growth is everywhere. In my case, nowadays, is the vertical microdramas. I'm sure that you have seen it. You have seen the advertisements. It had been created in China, and commercialization of microdrama, it's $8 billion. For the first time, they had actually was ahead of the cinematography, and we see where the cinematography is going, because in Brazil, for example, in other countries, the microdramas are shot, and together with producing company of Jackie Chan, we make microdramas. We're going to be the first ones in Central Asia. We work with Alem Entertainment. Probably you have seen Salem Entertainment movies, and we would like to develop microdramas in Central Asia. And in frames of the microdrama, we're the first ones who create movies and TV series using AI. And we had a headquarters Google video conference, and we had already said we've elaborated regarding the fact that we have talents, but we don't really have investments, and we cannot really spend $300 per 1-minute video or audio. And nowadays, they are allocating grants. Our aim is to expose Kazakhstan to the whole world, and it'll be great if talented young people can create with AI and monetize. Another thing, I work with the franchise Horeca. So what is their pain? Horeca doesn't have a platform where they could subscribe by subscription, and they come to us because we deal with copyrights so that they wouldn't be fined, and we create AI-powered music. Well, there is a demand, but we're lacking in funding. Thank you, Numi. Short comment regarding the vertical videos. This is a huge trend, to be really honest. I sometimes catch myself that I am watching more shorts rather than standard videos. And in AIFC, we had also installed the vertical screen because the vertical content is surpassing, to be really honest, the conventional one. Well, have you ever thought about author's issue? Because this is a challenge nowadays, because AFC, to AFC, a lot of companies had addressed their issues regarding protecting their rights, their copyrights. And I know that you had been dealing with this issue. What do you think? What kind of approach shall be in place? Because the service that we had from, they buy subscription, for example, from different platforms for cafes, restaurants. They actually have to count how many times was the rotation and then make the payments. What do you think? How can we participate in this? Is it a question to me or Aiza? To all of you three. Let's start from you. Well, there is a problem with the copyright. We know about this. In AI, it is really not defined who is the author of the end product. If we talk about artists and art, it is the gray area. We're not paid. We can solve this issue through blockchain. If we could digitalize all of the artists, in the blockchain we have Sözalem. We are lacking in funding, so that from the labels and association we could drag our artists, and they will see all their royalties, they will see their payments, and it will be transparent. And we actually had a discussion with the Prime Minister of Kazakhstan. We offered the way of paying the royalty. We didn't receive the positive answer for that, because we need to motivate our talents. How you could motivate talents? We are motivated whenever we are sure in future. We know that there's a stability in earnings, and that's what we are trying to do. We're trying to do it through blockchain. So I would like to hear Isaac, because maybe he would offer something interesting. Are we talking about in terms of the AI created? No, just copyright protection. To be really honest, I don't know, because we had we, for example, had researched this, and in Õzen we have 5,000 songs, rights to 5,000 songs. We just decided to not meddle into it because it's not really solved issue. We're like, thank you for playing our music. Maybe we will become popular, but we never received any payments. But if we try to solve it with AI, and whose rights it is that author human or AI? For example, Sona AI, in terms and conditions, it is already elaborated that if you use your own prompt, then you are the author. If you're using it for commercial purposes, it is in the agenda on daily basis in biggest studios all over the world. I think that we need to look at it in a philosophical way, because any musician, any artist has its own AI. We remember something, we see something, and then we create, let's say, the monster of a Frankenstein. We don't really, sometimes we remember something and then we compose all of it, and by using generative AI, there is a mixture of everything. It seems like it doesn't look like anything, but it is similar to everything. It'll be difficult to regulate this issue. Thank you so much for your honest answer. I think realizing that this kind of problem exists, it is the first step. And you know, like Shazam, for example, that can recognize the music. They had an idea to distribute the bot. It's like the fine, for example, if you're like making photos that you made, you parked in a red zone, for example, they also offered the same services, that who is listening what music, and see the services where people are using. But in order to do that, there shall be access to a whole database. As an IT people, they can do that, but you cannot collect all of the copyrights on one platform. Well, another general question that I would like to address, I actively use ChatGPT, for example, Midjourney, etc., and I have to make visuals and content that is specific to our national identity. Sometimes making a photo of Dombra, for example, is very difficult because it had been trained on other media. You, as creators, do you face this kind of problems, and do you have any kind of ideas? Well, I understand that it is obvious that we need to feed more content, but if you could elaborate on that. Very good question, to be really honest. One large company in Kazakhstan had requested us to launch Dombra, and we stumbled upon issue that generating Dombra is really difficult. Through several months of researching, we found a way. You can't do that. If you start doing it and write Dombra, you won't receive. But if you will research and find a way, this is how you can do it. But how exactly generative AI is trained. They are trained on what you feed. It is the task of the Ministry of Culture, maybe, so that we could digitalize our content. More Dombra officially be launched on official platforms, the more we will have, the more exposure we will have for Dombra, because there are many instruments that you could find in a space, but you need to dive into it deeper. Other speakers, please? May I make the ad? Well, the commercial. If you will need music on Dombra, we are the first ones who could manage to do it, so you can address your issues to us. A lot of people cannot do it, but we can do it. If you want free credits for VO3, we can help you out with it. I've heard that there are some of the projects. When we were gathering this panel session, and thank you so much for Yedige for inviting the speakers, we will have another creative session as well, the financing the creative session, and we shall hear what they are planning to do in this regard. Well, since we are limited in time, we need to wrap up. So today we had heard that AI is the source of the creativity, is emerging as a new form of creativity capital, and some of you is already exercising it. But at the same time, I know that AI cannot really replace a human being. It's just like a Photoshop. We will use it as the tool